Hi guys! So I wanted to do a video all about how I rescued my little kitty cat Aggie from Greece when I found her in Zante and brought her to London to live with me. So it all started with, at the end of May, I went on holiday to Zante and I was staying at an all-inclusive hotel. This was my first time going to Greece. And I soon discovered that they have quite a big problem with strays. So at the hotel we were staying at, there were loads of cats who would sort of roam around. There's like an outside restaurant bit, would roam around there. And because I'm such a sap when it comes to animals, I'd always feed them. And I sort of researched into it, asked the locals about it, and sort of wanted to find out a little bit more. And basically the neutering in Greece isn't particularly good in terms of neutering animals. So and please, if I am saying anything which is incorrect, please do put in the comments and correct me. This is just what I've been told and what I've researched. So because a lot of the animals don't get neutered and they live outside, and they'll be feral and stray, they'll then breed, have, you know, however many babies in one go, then those babies will grow up and then they'll breed and they'll breed. So they just have this like crazy amount of stray animals everywhere because they're just breeding and breeding and breeding. Unfortunately for these animals, obviously they need to eat, and during the summer season it's all right because you know, there's lots of tourists, and the tourists, like saps like me, will you know, feed them food off their plate and stuff. But once that's over in, like, you know, October, when the tourism season ends, I think something like 80% of those animals will die because they'll starve to death because there's no one to feed them and there's not enough food to go around. So obviously that's really upsetting. And these cats were in a really bad condition as well. And you can see they've got cuts and scars and blood everywhere where they've been fighting. They are like patches of hair, just as like, you know, like they're all bald patches. They're scratching so much because they're obviously covered in fleas. They've scratched so much that they're like, they've ripped all their skin and stuff. You can see all their ears are like bumpy and like things growing on it. Like really just... these animals are not in a good way. So it was quite upsetting for me because I'm a big animal lover and I found it really difficult having to see them all and be like, oh God, I wish I could save you all, but obviously there's only so much one person could do. Anyway, so I was feeding one of the cats one lunchtime and a woman said to me, did you know that there's a little kitten out the front? I was like, no. She's like, yeah, there's like a tiny little kitten out the front, lives in the bins. I've been feeding it, but I have to go back home. You know, I'm going back home like, you know, a couple of days or whatever. So I was like, oh, that's really sad. And then I was at the front and she was like, come here, the kitten's here. So she took me over and I'll show you the videos now of Aggie when I first found her. It's a little tiny kitten. So I thought she was a boy and I called her Joffrey as a placeholder name, a name that I wouldn't get too attached to because Joffrey is a bit of a douchebag in Game of Thrones. So a name that I wouldn't get too attached to, but I wanted to, you know, be able to like give it a name. So he was tiny. She was like, literally, she was like that big. She was so small. She was living in, there was like these big, I guess the hotel just threw all their bin bags out the front into a big pile. So she was living either like actually in the bin bags, like one time like went out there to call for her and stuff and she would actually crawl out of the bin bags, or there was this like carrier, this pallet thing with like a plastic thing over it, and kind of hard to explain, but she would hide under that and live under there. I don't know what happened to her mother. I think either her mother had died, you know, like I guess starved with winter, or because we went right at the beginning of season, so I don't know, maybe the mother didn't survive, or the mother abandoned her because where she was at the front, she was totally, no other guests would have known she was there. I only knew she was there because that lady told me, and that lady happened to walk past when she came out, when Aggie came out. So that's the only reason the lady knew she was there. It was nowhere near the dining place. It was nowhere near an area where the hotel guests would actually see. And most of the time she was hiding underneath this pallet thing anyway, so you wouldn't even see her. Anyway, so she was totally by herself. Her mum wasn't there. And she was obviously like quite little underweight and starving. So I started getting into the habit. I was on holiday for a week. Every morning and every evening, because it was all inclusive, I would take out, I would like sneak out food. They served quite a lot of like fish and ham slices and stuff like that. So I would snuggle the meat. No, I'd smuggle out the meat in a tissue, sorry, and I would feed it to her, and she'd always be starving. Like she would go crazy and eat like a massive piece of fish, like bigger than her, and she would eat the whole thing. She was absolutely starving. She had fleas. There was a parasite thing, what are they called? A tick. There was a tick on her neck. She was, you know, in such a bad way. It was drawing ever closer to me needing to go home, and I was thinking, oh God, I'm gonna leave, and this kitten is gonna die, or at the very best, it's gonna live a few months during season. Like, it's August right now, so she would have been this big, and then as soon as you know, October hits in a couple of months, she's gonna die because there's no one to feed her. Anyway, so I was getting myself into a right stress. So I was emailing and messaging all these different, there's not many unfortunately, but these different animal rescues in Zante. But like I said at the beginning of the video, there's such a huge epidemic of these stray dogs and cats that, like, they're overrun. It's not like they can just, you know, and these aren't funded charities. They're just kind of getting by with what they have. So most of them they just couldn't help me. And then this one charity called Zante Strays got back to me on Twitter. A lovely lady named Welly started talking to me, and she was like, "Oh, let's try and we'll try and sort this out." So for the next few days, I kept talking to her about what we were going to do. I've lost my my co-host. She's woken up now. So we were talking about what we were going to do, and I decided at this point, I was like, I want to. I was just absolutely fascinated. I want to rescue her. I want to take her home. I want to look after her because I can do whatever I can to try and get other people to feed her, but I can't. Once I'm in England, I can't look after her anymore, and she might die. And that thought actually broke my heart. So I was like, I feel like I've made a real bond with this kitten, and for whatever reason, fate has brought us together. So I was talking to this lady on Twitter, and we eventually, on like the last day, arranged for someone to come and pick her up and look after her until we could get her over to England. So this is like the video from the last day.
So hopefully this is Joffrey's last meal, living in the bins, before the rescue lady comes to pick him up.
And she's having some food and stuff, and then the lady came and picked her up. It was such a relief. I was like, oh my God, thank God she's been taken to someone else's who can look after her. Now the lady that looked after her was amazing. She sent me lots of videos, lots of pictures. I'll post them now. As you can see, she was finally getting like proper meals. She was hanging out with other animals. She was getting lots of love. I talked to, she's absolutely fascinated by my laptop. I was talking to the charity and the lady over the following months. We actually had to sort out her vet trips, found out she was a girl, get her jabs, you know, her sort of rabies jab, her inoculations, all that good stuff. And then eventually it came to getting her over to England. My mum went and picked her up.
No, I'm putting it away because I know what little girls are like.
And then I came over and I saw her for the first time since I've seen her since the end of May.
Hello! Hello, little one! Hello, sweetheart! I haven't seen you in a long time. You probably don't remember me.
She says, oh, did you rescue me?
I rescued you. I'm the reason you're not living in a bin.
And here she is. She's living with my mum at the moment. The flat I live in, I can't have animals, but I'll be moving in November, so I'll be moving to a property there that accepts animals, and then I'll be taking her, you know, on as my own. But at the moment, my mum is looking after her. My mum is in love with her. Understandably, look how freaking adorable she is. She's a terror. She's an actual terror. She bites you like nothing. I think she's teething, so she just chews. I'm trying to teach her not to chew, you know, people's hands, get out of that habit. She likes playing. She's got so much energy. All she wants to do is play. She's a little nutcase. She's cuddly when she's tired. We had a little nap together today. She purrs really loudly. She always wants to be around people. So like her sitting next to me, when I come here to look after her, like when my mum's busy doing some stuff, sorting some stuff out, so I keep her company, she will not leave my side. Literally, I go to the bathroom, she's there. I go and get some food from the kitchen, she's there. I come down here, she's here. I go upstairs, she's there. Like, she's my shadow when I'm here, and my mum says that's what she's like all the time. She loves company, she loves being with people. So yeah, that holiday ended up me meeting this little one, and now I hope she'll have a long life with us for the next, I hope to know her for the next 15, 16, 17, 18 years, She's a part of my life and my family now, and yeah, I'm so happy that it just goes to show, and this isn't to big myself up in any way or form, but if you can make a difference to something if you really put your mind to it. Like, if you really just, like, put your mind to something, I think you can accomplish something and you can achieve. And now she doesn't have this horrible life where she probably would have died of starvation, a horrible death. She's now happy and cuddled and loved. So yeah, that's the story of how I brought Aggie over. I'll put a link to Zante Strays in the description if you want to read up more about them. If you'd like to adopt an animal from them, they mainly rescue dogs. So they have loads of dogs that are beautiful, beautiful dogs that need adopting. So if you're thinking about getting a dog, do think about adopting from them. Adopt, don't shop. Thanks for watching, everyone. Me and Aggie will see you soon. Take care, play lots, have fun. Bye, guys. Bye. Aggie, you're in a video.
Hi.